So students, last time, that is in the last lecture, we have seen some of the definitions based on graph theory. There we have seen the definitions just like size of the graph, order of the graph, degree of a vertex, parallel edges, self loops, adjacent edges, adjacent vertices, and incidence relationship between a vertex and an edge. Also we have seen the two important theorems which were very simple with proof, and these were that the number of total number of degrees in a graph G is always an even number or is twice the number of edges. Then in the second theorem we have seen that the number of odd degree vertices is always even in any graph G. Okay. After that, by considering these two important theorems, that means once again I am repeating, the first theorem was that the total number of degree in a graph G is always even. Even means we can also say that it is always equal to twice the number of edges. Okay. And in second theorem we have seen that the number of odd degree vertices is always even. That means they may appear in 0, 2, 4, 6, etc. But even number of degree vertices, the number of even degree vertices may or may not be even. This may be even or odd. Now let us see one example, simple example. This type of example can also be asked. Example: a graph has 15 vertices, 15 edges, 3 vertices are of degree 4. Of degree 4, other vertices of degree 3, other vertices of degree 3. Find the number of vertices in G. Find the number of vertices in the graph G. Okay. So now see, the solution is very simple. Just read the question. It can be at the weightage of 3 to 4 marks. We are given that there are 15 edges and we want to find out the number of vertices in the graph G. But with that we are given that 3 vertices are of 4 degree and others how many, that we don't know, because actual number of vertices we don't know, and that this is what that we want to find. So here first of all we will note down that let E equal to 15. That means total number of edges. E equal to 15. 3 vertices are of degree 4 and other vertices are of degree 3. That means the concept of degree is given. That means we want to find out the number of edges. That means let n be the number of vertices in G. Okay, n we want to find out. So now see, total degree, we will make the use of first theorem. Total degree of G, or simply sometimes we can also write degree of G. Degree of G, whenever we will write down that this must understood that total degree. Okay. So here total degree is 3 vertices are of degree 4. So 3 into 4 and other vertices. So how many other vertices are there? Total is n vertices. So other vertices are n minus 3 and this have the degree 3. Okay. So this is 12 plus 3n minus 9. So this is equal to 3n plus 3. Okay, 12 minus 9 is 3. But we also know that total degree of G, by using the first theorem, that it is twice the number of edges. So 2 into 15 edges are there. So this is equal to 30. So we will compare both the numbers. Both numbers must be same. Therefore we have 3n plus 3 equal to 30. And this implies that 3n equal to 30 minus 3. That means 27. And so this implies that n equal to 9. If we divide this by 3, then we will get 9. So now we say that there are 9 vertices in a graph G. Okay. So you write down a solution, and after the end of the lecture, you will also have to practice those examples whichever I am solving on the board. So I will give you proper time during the lecture time to practice yourself about the topics which we will cover during this lecture. Okay, now let us see another example. Another example, which is that find the number of edges in G. Find the number of edges in G, if it has 5 vertices, if it has 5 vertices, each of degree 2. So now see, this example is also very simple. We are given the number of, we want to find the number of edges, but with that, what is given to us? We are given that there are 5 vertices, each of degree 2. So what will we do? We want to find out the number of edges. So we will first assume that let E be the number of edges in graph G. So you must start from the centers, and from the statement of the problem you can get at least 1 mark. So 1 mark theory you must remember. Okay. So number of edges is E. We have assumed it has 5 vertices, each of degree 2. So now write down that given G has 5 vertices, each of degree 2. So what do we understand? We can find out the total degree. Therefore, degree of G means total degree. This is what? There are 5 vertices and each vertex is of degree 2. Therefore 5 into 2, that means 10 total degree. And also we know that the total degree of G is always equal to twice the number of edges, and we are given the number of edges is E. So again degree of G equal to E into 2, that means twice E. So therefore we have twice E equal to 10, and this implies that E equal to 5. So there are 5 edges in a graph G. So this is very simple to solve, and you can do it very easily. So you write down this solution. Okay. And now let us see some of the definitions. These are also very much important, and you must remember all these definitions. Isolated vertex. Isolated vertex. This is nothing but actually isolated vertex means it is the special kind of a vertex. So a vertex with degree 0 is called an isolated vertex. So if in a graph G there are some vertices which are having degree 0, then these are known as isolated vertices. Okay? Or in other words, we can also say that actually degree, how can we measure? Degree means the number of edges incident with that vertex. The number of edges incident with that vertex, that means the number of edges passing through this vertex is known as the degree of the vertex. So in other words, you can also write the same definition as a vertex which has no edges incident, or a vertex you can write in any way which has no edge is incident is known as an isolated vertex. Okay? No edge is incident, that means obviously the degree is 0. Suppose we consider the one graph, say this is the vertex, this is the vertex, this is the vertex, and one more vertex here is there, V1, V2, V3, V4, and suppose it is V5. So we can see here that the vertex V5 has degree 0 because there is no edge incident with V5. So we say that V5 is an isolated vertex. Okay? Then let us see another definition. Pendant vertex. So with the definition, if you are asked to give example of the graph, you can draw the graph of like this. Any type of graph, any kind of graph you can draw, but one vertex must be an isolated vertex. So pendant vertex is also very simple. That means a vertex having degree 1, degree 1 is called a pendant vertex. Okay? Pendant vertex. So you must write down this definition also with me. That means a vertex having degree 1 is called a pendant vertex. So if you see this graph, and below that you also name the graph, that G. That means this whole is a graph G. Here you can see that V1 has degree 2, V2 has degree 2, V3 has degree 2, V4 has degree 2, and V5 has degree 0. So there is no vertex in this graph with degree 1. So this graph has no pendant vertex. But if we just join V5 by means of an edge, then now we can see that the degree of V5 is V1. That means degree of V5 equal to 1. So V5 is a pendant vertex. Okay? V5 is a pendant vertex. So you write down this definition also. Now let us see another definition. Series. This is also very simple definition. So once if you will remember all these definitions, then in graph theory, every theorems are very easy to prove. Every examples are very easy to solve. So series means that we are talking about edges here. So two edges are said to be in series if their common vertex is of degree 2. So see here, read the definition. It is written there, two edges are said to be in series if their common vertex is of degree 2 and is of exactly degree 2, not more than, not less than. So here in this graph, if we name the edges by say E1, E2, E3, E4, E5 like this, then see, observe the two edges E1 and E2. The edges E1 and E2 has the vertex, common vertex B1, and we can see that B1 is of degree 2. So B1, so therefore we say that E1 and E2 are in series. Okay. Now we talk about E1 and E4. Their common vertex is B2. B2 is also of degree 2. So we say that E1 and E4 are in series. If we talk about E3 and E4, obviously their common vertex is B3 and it is of degree 2. So we say that E3 and E4 are in series. Now let us say about E2 and E3. E2 and E3 have common vertex B4, but you can see that its degree is 3. B4 has degree 3. So E2 and E3 are not in series. Similarly, if we talk about E2 and E5, their common vertex is B4, but B4 has degree 3. So E2 and E5 are also not in series. So you must remember this definition. Write down this definition with an example. Okay. Now let us see another definition. Trivial graph. Trivial graph is also very easy definition. A graph G is said to be a trivial graph if it has only one vertex and no edges. No edges. So you just read out the graph. Trivial means improper graph. So it has only one vertex. Suppose we consider the graph G here, which has only one vertex B. This is the simple graph. And it is known as a trivial graph because in this graph we can see that it has a vertex B only and there is no edges. That means a single vertex with degree 0 is known as a trivial graph. Actually, two isolated vertices are also not allowed. That means V1 and V2. This is not a trivial graph. It must have a single isolated vertex only. Okay. Then let us see another definition, a null graph. So a null graph is also very easy definition. A graph G which has only isolated vertices is called a null graph. So I told you that you can also write the same definition in your own words, but the meaning must be preserved. You can also write here that the graph which contains only isolated vertices is called a null graph, or if the graph G has all the vertices with degree 0, because isolated vertices means the vertices having degree 0. So if the graph G has all vertices of degree 0, it is said to be a null graph. That means, suppose there are 3 vertices, V1, V2 and V3, and this is the graph G. So here we can see that this graph G is an isolated vertices because it has 3 vertices, and each of the 3 vertices are isolated, and isolated means each are having degree 0. Now see here, trivial graph is also a null graph, because obviously the graph G, that by the definition of a null graph, it has vertices with degree 0. So it has single vertex, but it has degree 0, so it is also a null graph. That means we can say that trivial graphs are always null graphs, but null graphs may or may not be trivial graphs. Null graphs may or may not be trivial graphs, because if null graph contains only a single vertex, it is a trivial graph. But if there are more than one vertices, it is not a trivial graph. But trivial graph is obviously a null graph. So you write down these definitions. And the definitions always comes in the examination. So you must remember and get a writing practice of the definitions with proper example. Now let us define another one, complementary graphs. COMP complementary graphs. So here complementary graphs means we are talking about 2 graphs, 2 or more graphs. So here 2 graphs G and G dash are said to be complementary graphs if they have same vertices. They have same vertices. That means, suppose I will take 2 graphs G and G dash. Suppose it has the 3 vertices, say V1, V2 and V3. Then the same vertices must be there in G dash should also be there. That means V1, V2 and V3. If they are these vertices we denote by V1 dash, V2 dash, V3 dash, then they are not said to be same vertices. Yes, same number of vertices are there. But if you denote this by dash, 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 then we say that these are not same vertices. These are not same vertices, but they are having same number of vertices. Okay, but here in our definition they are having same vertices, but one condition is that if 2 vertices in G, if 2 vertices in G are connected by an edge, then they are not connected in G dash by an edge. Then they are not connected by an edge in G dash. Okay. So once again you read here that, but if two vertices in G are connected by an edge, that means suppose V1 and V2 are connected by an edge E1 in G, then these two vertices are not connected in G dash. Okay, there may be another connection with another vertices. That means suppose V2 and V3 may be connected. Okay, V2 and V3 may be connected. Suppose here V1 and V3 are connected, so we can see that V1 and V2 and V1 and V3 are not connected in G dash. Okay, so this is the definition and these are the examples of G and G dash. So here in this way we can say that G and G dash are complementary graphs because they are having the same vertices and the connection by an edge are in complement form. That means the edges wherever it lies in G dash it does not lie. Okay, that means we cannot draw an edge over here. We cannot draw. So you also write down this definition. Okay, you have written it. Now let us define another graph. Complete or full graph. Mostly in our study we will call this as complete graph. It is also known as full graph. So, and the complete graph has a very important meaning, and we will make the use of complete graph in the further study of graph theory. So, the simple graph is said to be complete. The definition is that the simple graph is said to be a complete or a full graph if there exists an edge, between every pair of vertices. So once again here we will read the definition one by one. In complete graph it is written that it is simple graph. The basic requirement is that it must be a simple graph. Simple graph means what? The graph having no loops and no parallel edges. Okay? That means the graph without self loops and parallel edges is known as a simple graph. So complete graph is always a simple graph. And simple graph is said to be a complete graph if there exists an edge between every pair of vertices. That means there is always an edge between every pair of vertices. Suppose if we consider the vertex with 3 vertices, a graph with 3 vertices. Suppose it is G1. Okay. So there are 3 vertices. So as we told you that there must be a pair edge in between every pair of vertices. So if we draw only this graph, then this is not a complete graph. So this vertex must be joined with this vertex and with this vertex. Okay. This vertex must also be joined with this vertex and this vertex. This vertex is also joined with both the other vertex. So this is the complete graph of 3 vertices. Suppose we consider 4 vertices. V1, V2, V3, V4 suppose. So V1 must be connected with V2, V2, V4, V2 and V3. Okay. Actually, we are not considering that. You not mean that if V4 and V3 is there is an edge over here, and V1, V4 and V4, V3 are connected, then we cannot understand this that there is an edge between V1 and V3. If we don't draw this, then this is not allowed, because this V1 we can reach to V3 by V1 to V4, then V2, V4 to V2. But here there must be a direct connection between the 2 vertices. Now see, V2, similarly V2, there is an edge between V2 and V1, V2 and V3, V2 and V4. Okay. Then V3, there is an edge between V2, V1, with V2 and with V4. Similarly for V4, there is an edge with V1, with V2 and with V3. Okay. So this is the simple graph, this is the complete graph with 4 vertices. Complete graph with 4 vertices. It is the complete graph with 3 vertices. Okay. Yes. This is also a complete graph with 2 vertices. This is also a complete graph with 2 vertices. Okay. So you must have seen the definition. Yes. These 2 edges can be crossed, but this is not a vertex unless and otherwise specified. You don't consider this point, cross point, as a vertex. We are given only 4 vertices, V1, V2, V3 and V4. So edges may cross each other. The edges may cross each other, but their crossing point may or may not be a vertex. So we should consider only the vertices as the location points. Actually this we will also consider in our real life as location. And the edge by the connection between the locations. Okay. And here complete graph is denoted by Kn, capital Kn, having n vertices. So if the graph is complete graph with n vertices, then this is denoted by capital Kn. So this G1 is nothing but K3. This is nothing but K4. This is nothing but K2. Okay. So complete graphs are denoted by Kn. Okay. And one more thing here, you observe that. We will see later on, but you observe that in a complete graph G, if there is some vertex V, then we know that this vertex is connected by all other vertices. So if there are n vertices, and suppose we talk about V1, then V1 is connected with other n-1 vertices by an edge. See, here it is written, there exists an edge between every pair of vertices. So V1 is connected with other remaining. There are n vertices V1, V2, V3, V4, Vn. So V1 is connected with other n minus 1 vertices by an edge by the definition. So degree of V1 is always here n minus 1 because there are n minus 1 edges incident with V1. Similarly, degree of V2 is also n minus 1 because the same definition applies, same meaning will be there. That means V2 is connected by other n minus 1 vertices by an edge. So all vertices d of bk equal to n minus 1 for 1 less than or equal to k less than or equal to n. So this kind of short example can also be asked in the examination. That means in a complete graph G with n vertices, the degree of each vertices is same and it is nothing but n minus 1. So here in our K4, degree of V1, you can see it is 4 minus 1, that means 3, and you can also observe from the graph, that means degree of each of the vertices is 3. Here it is 3 minus 1, that means 2. Degree of each vertices is 2. Here 2 minus 1 is 1, so degree of each vertices is 1. Okay. So this is the definition of a complete graph with complete explanation. So note down this. Now let us see two definitions, a multigraph and a pseudograph. Multigraph means a graph G which has no self loop but parallel edges are allowed is called a multi-graph. But pseudograph is what? Pseudograph is that a graph G which has a self loop but no parallel edges is called a pseudo graph. So these are very easy definitions. Suppose in a multi-graph, if we draw the graph, suppose this is the graph with 3 vertices and it has parallel edges but no self loop. So this is known as a multiple graph. Whereas in a pseudograph, if we consider a graph with 3 vertices, it is said that it has a self loop but no parallel edges. Suppose we draw self loop over here. So this is a pseudograph as it has no parallel edges. It is a pseudograph, it is a multigraph. You can draw self loop anywhere. You can also involve 2 self loops. Okay. Here also if you want you can add parallel edges anywhere. Here you can also put one more parallel edge over here. There are 3 parallel edges. So these are the definitions of multigraph and pseudograph. So you write down these definitions. You understand all the definitions So I will give you proper time. So during the remaining time of this lecture, you revise the topics whichever I have explained to you over here in this lecture. Okay, that means I have shown to you the two different examples and the important definitions with their proper examples. Okay, so you revise these definitions and examples, because if you will remember all the definitions, then the graph theory will become very simple for you and you will do all the examples and all the theorems very simply. Okay, so next time we will see with other concepts of graph theory, where we will see different definitions, different theorems, etc. Okay, till then you can practice this the concepts whichever have been taught to you in this lecture. Okay, thank you.